Hi everyone, it's Ashley with Going Crochezy, and I'm just gonna preface this with saying sorry for the bad lighting, but it's late at night and I am just finishing up some whips, and so I just figured I don't really have too much content for you guys this week because I've been so sick, that I would just bring you along to hang out with me while I finish up my whips. So I'm just going to give you a little story of why I haven't been feeling well and why I have a bunch of whips, and then we'll get started. So for the past 2 weeks, I have been pretty ill. If you've seen a few of my previous videos, you have seen me talk about it, but I literally the day after I finished my how many items can I make in a week, and I was trying for 72 items, I came down with a fever, and my fever lasted about 6 days, and that's the longest fever I've ever had. I just would not break. And so I finally went into the walk-in clinic, found out I had pneumonia, and I've been recovering from pneumonia ever since. So in that length of time with my fever and then the week of medicine and recovery, I have had zero ambition to crochet and zero ambition to do literally anything. I've just been laying around doing absolutely nothing. And so now that I have some more energy and I'm feeling a little bit better, I wanted to start to crochet again. And we went away to a family camp this past few days, and I did not feel good the day that we were leaving, but I knew I would be starting to feel better when we were down there because we stayed for 6 days. And so I figured I would just grab my crochet bag that I have. I always have a bunch of yarn in it to crochet with, just, in case I'm going on the go. So I have this big old bag, and it's just filled with random yarns that maybe items I was making previously, and I'll just throw a bunch of different colors in there. And so I had this bag, and so I just threw it in the car, not knowing what was in it, not really having any ambition to crochet at the moment. And so I threw that in there, and then we got to our camp, and I decided that I was starting to feel better and I wanted to crochet, but I really didn't have much to crochet with. I didn't have many options. I didn't have any polyfill. I only had these eyes, my 14mm eyes that I had received in the mail and hadn't transferred over to my bin of eyes yet. And so I was just stuck with a bunch of random yarn. And so these are the things that I decided to crochet with what I had. And so I'm gonna give you a little video of what I have that's incomplete at the moment, that doesn't have any polyfill in it, and then I'm gonna fill them up, and then I will be back on. Okay, so we're back, and as you can see, I am in my ultra comfy outfit. This is literally just to hang out with me and crochet kind of night because I gotta get some work done. I have a market in, let's see, it's Tuesday right now. It's Tuesday evening right now, and I have a market on Saturday, and I haven't crocheted for 2+ weeks. So this is necessary. So I had started doing an octopus. So this is the smaller version of Anchor the Octopus. And I had started doing the tentacles and the body, and it was in my bag. So I finished up here, but I didn't have any eyeballs that were big enough to put on the octopus, so I wasn't able to close those off. And then I got his little back body piece ready to go, and then this is actually not anchored. This is a stingray that I had started, and I didn't have the right size of white to finish, but I do have the anchors bottom half in the bag somewhere. I'll have to find it in a second. So I need to add his eyes, close him up, and then add his head, and then he's done. So I think that's a pretty big, long project to have completed. It took me maybe like 4 to 5 hours to finish him. So that's a pretty good sized project. Then I just have this guy, so I just have to put his eyes and then his bottom on, and then I will have a stingray. And then I had a bunch of yarn because I had done that video for you guys about the free patterns, Halloween patterns. And so I have a bunch of the I had a bunch of this yarn for the chubby Frankie. And so I ended up making 5 more of these guys because I already had one finished. So I figured 6 at my market for this weekend would be a good number to have. And so I just have to finish, I closed them up. And so now I just have to add their little, you know, the stitching around their heads. So those guys are pretty close to being finished. And I had that same yarn and a crochet chat group I am in from starting our little market prep challenge group. Someone had added a picture of these cute little lizards, so I wanted to make one of these guys. I was only able to finish up to here because after this I just have to close in the tail, and I didn't have the polyfill, so I just stuffed this guy with that same color yarn as Chubby Frankie. And so I left a bunch of yarn for me to be able to finish him off. So I made him, and then I made this guy as well in a different color. So the same guy, but in a different color. So those are, I plan to have in like another review video for you guys very shortly. I have this guy that I also am going to be reviewing in that same video. He just needs some whiskers added. And then I had a ton of furry yarn. Why I had a ton of furry yarn? I had this intention of making a bunch of furry chickens, and so I figured, well, why not just throw together a bunch of like little furry chickens? So I have the bodies all closed up. I have this brown furry yarn, and then I have 3 white ones, and I kind of made them all slightly different sizes depending on what people would want, some smaller, some bigger. So I have these 3 guys. I just have to add, you know, the combs and the eyes and the beaks to these guys, and they will be done. So that is what I have so far. So now I'm gonna go ahead and start working on these guys. I figured I could put you on like a little time lapse so that you could hang out and see me working, and then I'll come back on and show you guys some progress. Okay, so far I have my little seal and all 5 of my chubby Frankies done. So I'm gonna put those off to the side. I have to find my red yarn to make the combs for all of my chickens because it's in here somewhere, but I'm not quite sure where it is. It's kind of mixed up with everything else. And here it is. I just have to wind it up because it looks like it's all kind of mixed up. And so I'm gonna add the combs first, and then when I do the chickens, I usually do the combs first, so I kind of have an idea of where I should add the eyes and the beak next. And I think I need to find some more yellow yarn too, because I don't think I have any in this bag, so I'm probably gonna have to go grab yellow from a different room. Yes, I definitely don't have any yellow in here, but I did find the bottom to my octopus for closing it up. So I will be able to close up this octopus nicely, but I probably am going to do my octopus last because I have to find some eyes for him. And so I'm gonna do my chickens first, find some yellow to add to them. Hopefully I have some yellow because I'm pretty much out on yellow. And then I have to just finish off these guys' tails. And then I'm gonna do the octopus and then I should be done. So I'm gonna go ahead and work on that off camera for a little bit. And then I will come back on to show you guys some finished work. All right guys, and I finally did it. I got everything done that I had planned to get done tonight. So I'm pretty excited about that. So here is the stingray. I finished him off. This is the biggest project I did, was the mini anchor, the octopus, which I'm pretty excited about. I do plan to make the big anchor. It was gonna be a video I had planned before. I was gonna make the minis. I was gonna make a big one as a project to see how long it takes, but I got this one done first, and so that will just have to be a future project for me. I'm pretty proud of it. It's in purples. And then I got my 2 geckos done. So these are a free pattern on Instagram. I will be putting a video out on my review of how these guys turned out. I got all 4 of my chickens done. And I finished off my Frank and my seal, and that is everything I made.